Whyter, come on. Yeah! USA! Woo! Hey, come on, you need to listen to your nana.
Hot take, the reason why so many white people are mad at Druski is because he got a spotting on. There is no such thing as whiteface. All he did was cosplay as a NASCAR enthusiast. Because to commit whiteface, you would actually have to do something offensive. The reason why blackface is offensive is because it's never an accurate depiction of black people. It is nothing but disparaging, negative, racist actions that white people do. On top of offensive paint, what black person do you know is completely black? Quickly. Druski just looked like a sunburnt, overweight white man cheering, hooting, and hollering at a NASCAR event. Tell me where you don't see that happening at an actual NASCAR event. Honestly, this is the best type of performance art I've seen in a minute, if we have to be honest. Because that's exactly what this is. It's art. It's making people talk, it's making people think, and it's making people really look at themselves. And for Theo Von to open up his crusty mouth and say he wants to also participate in blackface isn't surprising, but what is surprising is that he knows what a jerry curl is. And not only do you know what a jerry curl is, you're asking for one. What black person do you know is currently wearing a jerry curl? Again, quickly! And hey, maybe this is the lesson that white people needed, right? Because for years, decades, centuries, we've been saying, hey, that's racist. And there's always a white person. Actually, it's not racist. You're just misunderstanding. So now you guys are misunderstanding.
One of the craziest things about reverse racism is that white people don't even understand how regular racism works. It's like this old thing in your garage somebody gave you a long time ago and you don't really know what to do. You just know you ain't letting that shit go. Blackface in minstrel shows was specifically created to highlight the negative characters of black people in the late 1800s and the early 1900s. So when they hired people to do a role like slave hand and lazy plantation worker, and this is just a white person with blackface and big red lips, I don't see how you can think this is the same thing when this is just a southerner at a NASCAR event. Because if white supremacy was real, how is this viewed as a negative in your culture? How is this a negative caricature of white men? Because not only did black people not say a fucking word to Robert Downey Jr. for this, most of us thought he was the best part of the movie. And I don't want to speak for all black people when I say this, but it's probably because he didn't portray us as a fucking slave. It's not fair. If y'all can do whiteface, why we can't do black? If Druski puts on white paint and goes and portrays himself as a school shooter, then we can have this discussion. Because that would be the lowest of your community, right? If Druski puts on white paint, then goes and portrays himself as a predator, then we can have a conversation about whiteface, because that would be the lowest of your community, right? I get it, though. I see why that's confusing. Why wouldn't this group of people want to be tied to a negative stereotype from their community of the past that doesn't represent them as a whole? I understand that.
Hi, guys. Welcome to yet another video. It's Ndagiri here. Thanks for clicking on today's video. So, guys, some people are pissed. Like, why people are pissed on the internet. If you go in the comments, especially on these videos of this black man, he's a comedian who decided, he's a black man who decided to go and, turn himself into a white man. And clearly, if he did not tell me he was a black man, honestly, I would bet my life, I would bet my money to say he's not a black man, because the paint, the art, the makeup, whoever transformed this man to really look like a white man deserves an award, because this is great, amazing work. And why a lot of people are not seeing it as an offense, especially when it comes to the black community, is because this black man did not show up as a negative stereotype of white people. But then when it comes to how white people portray blackface, is when it's literally disgusting behavior, showing the negative side or stereotype that is put onto black people. And I saw a lot of, pictures of blackface and then red lips. Like, there's nobody who is a black person that is just jet black and then red lips. Like, that's an insult. Really, that's an insult. But then when you look at this black man cosplaying as a white man, literally, he looks like he just went for a tan, and he's just here to have a good time at this event, having the best time of his life. So the comments that have been really coming across to people saying, oh, now it's okay when black people do it, but when we do it is a problem. And I guess this is a way of reverse racism, and I guess this is now time for us to also do this, and be open about it, which is really ridiculous to me, because people have been doing it for decades. and it's been negative, especially when it comes to black people. So what do they mean? Like, how is this even offensive? But listen to what people are saying about this whole thing, especially when it comes to my people. Even their own are saying this is nothing to call racism. Yeah, guys, come back, let me know your thoughts on it.
Whiteface is just as bad as blackface? Are you kidding me? You mean the blackface that has a racist history? The blackface that was used to make fun of my ancestors, which y'all beat to a pulp, hung from trees, ate? Cannibalism! Y'all made furniture out of my ancestors. The same place that blackface? The same blackface that came from the same era and the same people that used my ancestors' hair and teeth in furniture, their living room sets, chairs. Whiteface is equal to that? The white face that has no racist history, the white face that doesn't even exist, the white face that affects no one. It really shouldn't even be offensive. The only way it could be offensive is if it's lightly offensive. Oh, you're making fun of me. Okay. But it doesn't have a racist past. It's not a system of thinking that will oppress white people. Y'all really have to stop thinking that we are two sides of the same coin, because we are not. In this country, our ancestors were forced to come here and work for free in unlivable conditions. They died in addition to working for this country against their will. And then after that, after the slaves were freed, systems like Jim Crow, things like redlining, other things, plenty of other things, food deserts, have continued to hold our people back. Or at least attempt, because we always prevail, but it makes it much harder. We have to jump through hoops. So when you do something like blackface, or anything minstrel show related, that's why it's offensive. That's why it's not equal to quote unquote whiteface. So let's stop pretending we're two sides of the same coin. Your people have never experienced in this country what my people have. So that little whiteface joke don't mean nothing. Nothing compared to the BS that y'all do. So laugh and keep it moving.
Druski did that little airbrush skit. Now everybody know what racism is. Now y'all know what racism is. First of all, there's no such thing as fucking whiteface. Just because something is the opposite of something that actually exists does not make it real. Blackface was and has always been a real thing and very much harmful to the black community. Whiteface isn't real. But it's always funny to me that white folks' response is to do what it is that y'all already been doing. Because folks are literally commenting everywhere, oh, guess it's time for me to do blackface. Y'all been doing that. You've been doing it. Whether in the Netherlands or Spain. You all have a solid, unwavering history of it. Y'all are claiming this skit is racist and your response to the skit is to be racist, which is interesting since y'all created racism. And yeah, y'all can identify racism when it's real, like racial profile, the wealth gap, redlining, gentrification, the removal of DEI, the inherent bias that everybody outside of y'all is dangerous or unintelligent. Cause riddle me that. But now his little airbrush spray tan made y'all automatically oppressed somehow.
Now, yesterday we talked about Druski and his phenomenal performance as a NASCAR enthusiast, but apparently Theo was not a fan of what was going on, because this is what he had to say on the internet. Now, over on X, he had quote tweeted Druski's post about being a NASCAR enthusiast, and he said, wow, anyone do hair and makeup, hit me in my DMs. I feel a Jerry curl coming on. And then he posted a picture of the moon, which I assume is like a blackface. And then somebody had posted a picture, like an AI generated picture of a Dominican. And then Theo quote tweets it and says, we outside. You a cornball. Just off top, what ninjas do you know walking around with a Jerry curl, Theo? Like, does the racism run that low? Is it that deep for you? Was it that deep? What, did you get so offended that you saw a hillbilly at a NASCAR performance? Like, I'm not understanding where this is coming from. Was Druski so believable that you might have thought this was one of your uncles? Was the farmer's tan too lifelike and realistic for you? Like, you're not funny. And nobody cares if you walk around with a Jerry curl and blackface on. Like, nobody cares. You think this is supposed to offend us? And I promise you, the hillbillies attending NASCAR don't give either about Druski's skit, because they was keying and laughing in the comments. Theo, find another struggle before you get your ass whooped.
I've heard this so many times coming from my white peers, but if we, you are absolutely correct. Because we enslaved black people, because we oppressed marginalized communities, we stole people from their homeland after stealing land from people who were already here. Black people didn't enslave us. I feel like that's a pretty obvious one. My biggest issue with comments like these is that white people have the mentality that somehow this is supposed to be a two-way street. It's not. It will never be a two-way street. Because if it was, black people would have already gotten their reparations by now. But instead, we're still fighting injustice. To further my point, if you don't know your history, the Irish were an extremely oppressed people. Do you know who oppressed them? Not Africans, thank you.
So to everybody who is mad about Druski being covered in whiteface, and then they're like, but whiteface is just as bad as blackface, and you just can't cosplay someone's let's see what I'm looking for. So if we take a motherfucking look around, the whole world wants to be white, or what should I say? Colonization really took the fuck over, guys. I mean, come the fuck on. People are wearing straight wigs, like, not saying white people are the only people with straight hair, but like, people are getting their facial, like, you know what I'm saying? People are changing themselves to be more white. People are praising lighter skin. People are praising looser hair. It's like, the same people mad about Druski doing whiteface are the same racist people. Like, it's the same people that are racist. You know, but that's just how I feel about it. No one was mad at Robert Downey Jr. for cosplaying blackface in a movie because it wasn't with malicious or ill intent. None of this is, the intentions of any of this isn't malicious. It's almost like, but I don't want to gaslight y'all feelings, you know what I'm saying? But the whole world kind of wants to be white, so you can't really get mad at people for like conforming to that.
With Druski accomplishing the greatest whiteface that rivals the blackface that Robert Downey Jr. achieved in Tropic Thunder, I only have one thing to say. All hands are off. Blackface, yellow face, Italian face. It's all open now. He demolished the barriers. The glass ceiling is gone. Let's start cosplaying as different races. I will now be Vietnamese in 2 weeks.
I can't do it anymore. Druski, I can't do it anymore. This man not only did whiteface, but redneck face with a tan and sunburn and Confederate tattoos and a mullet. Business in the front, party in the back. And the setting was a NASCAR race. That man, only he can do this. Only he can get away with this. Anybody else would be serving 10 to 15. Anybody else will be facing extreme backlash, but not Druski. Not Druski. This man had Meemaw. This man had, it gets to a point where one can only ask, you good, bud? Druski just keeps getting more and more out of his mind. More and more out of his mind. And we all just accept it. No repercussions, no consequences. It's just, that's Druski. Just continues to outdo himself.
As you've seen the video, that is what people had to say. And to me, I just looked at this video and I'm just laughing, cracking up, because I don't understand why the hate is coming from Pan people talking about they want to like do blackface because they've been doing it for a very, very long time. Even today, people are getting cancelled today in 2025 for trying to do blackface, and it's not done in a proper way, you know, just like this black man did. They just put black paint on their faces and it's just insulting when it comes from them. But I think this deserves, like, you know, an award because it really represented them well, you know, just like, you know, the brothers and sisters were saying, if this man just portrayed them as a shooter or as, you know, something negative, yeah, people would come out and be like, oh, black people are being too much. But you can't look at this and be like, this is racism. Like, you gotta be mad, you gotta be like out of your mind. But I mean, I really don't have much to say about this. I just found this video like hilarious because I can't get the fact off my head that this is like makeup. This is literally makeup because this is a freaking black man, you know. But then when you look at this, it's really, if you find this person on the way, you cannot tell that it's a black person, and that's what is amazing about it. And that's why it's hilarious that even Pam people are coming out and calling out their own, that hey, there's bigger things to really worry about than to compare the black face that, you know, white people have been putting on black people than this, because this is nowhere close to racism. Guys, that is it for me today's video. Let me not think about this. Like, what do you think about this? Literally, like, is it funny or it's still racism? Like, I don't know. To me, it's just hilarious. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe. I'll see you in another video. Bye.